Hi friends, Jen here with Serenity Hill Farmstead, and today I have a big batch medicine making day. I've got a whole bunch of tinctures that I want to make. We'll see how much vodka we have to make everything work. I have a whole bunch of things I need to tincture, but this is all I've got, and one of these does not quite fill a half gallon, so we'll see what we can get done. But I'm going to go through everything that I'm making here, hit the highlights of the uses that I am making them for. And if you want to get a deeper dive, I'm gonna do little videos on each one of these to really dive deep into them, to get you guys all the information that you want to be able to fill your home apothecary. So first I wanna go over everything that I have. I've got half-gallon mason jars here. We've got lids, bands. Because I'm using vodka, I don't have to worry about covering anything. It's not gonna erode it and everything. You wanna worry about putting a cover in between, like a piece of parchment or something in between here when you're making a vinegar. That will erode it, so you want to have protection there. You do not have to do that with tinctures. I've got a wet erase marker. That is what I use on the tops of things to write all of my information on the top of the lids. I've got my vodka here. I have got a 40% vodka. That's an 80 proof vodka here. I've got straight olive oil to make my infused herbal oils, and I've got the herbs. Some of them are filled up. The ones I knew that I was gonna do, I just went ahead and did because that's very time consuming, so I did it off camera. So let's go ahead and get into it. The very first one I am going to do is a chamomile tincture. Chamomile tincture, I sell this primarily for people that are looking for stomach ease. This is really good. It's a carminative, is one of the big properties in chamomile, and it helps expel gas and soothe digestion. So this is something that's really good to take after you've eaten. All right, we're just kind of moving things around here so that we can actually work. This makes for a good picture, but it's kind of in the way. So I have a family member that actually really struggles with tomato-based products. And he will take some peppermint right beforehand because it helps to soothe, it helps to, expel the gas and help to ease digestion. You could do the same thing with chamomile. You can take this before you eat, and hopefully that could help ease your digestion and prevent gas from building up. It's also extremely gentle. So this is what we use for colicky babies. I wish I knew about this with my oldest, but that was 18 years ago and I just didn't know. This is great for colic. Chamomile, fabulous for colic. You can use it as a tea for a baby, for a fussy baby that's colicky, that's having digestive issues there. So what I'm gonna do before I add my vodka, I'm gonna go ahead and label it. We're just gonna write chamomile tincture. And I'm gonna write the date. Today is the 25th of September. And then I am going to write that I am using an 80% vodka. There we go, chamomile tincture, 80% vodka, and today's date. And go ahead and do that. And then I've got my vodka. I am just, well, let's take this top off because we don't want to be here all day. So you notice that I'm using dried chamomile flowers here. The ratio for using dried chamomile in a tincture is 1 to 2. So 1 part chamomile, 2 parts vodka. That's what I'm using. And this chamomile tincture is going to sit for 6 weeks on a cool, dark shelf. My apothecary shelf over there. And it is going to infuse and let all that goodness pull into our alcohol. And then we will have a wonderful digestive herbal preparation ready for use. And this is something that we are going to both stock in our store and keep on our shelves for our family. So this little one I'm gonna do real quick. This is actually for someone specific. This is hawthorn berry, and the ratio for hawthorn berry is 1 to 5, using it dehydrated. I kind of poured that off camera. But this one is gonna sit for 8 weeks because they're berries. Let me get close. Those are berries, and they're going to sit in this for 8 weeks and pull all of that out. Now what I could do is once these get softer, because dried hawthorn berries are quite hard, I could pour this into a blender after it's had some time to break down and mash it up. And that would shorten the time a little bit, which I think I actually might do because this is the second time I've made this because I dropped the other one and the glass shattered. So we're gonna start again. So hawthorn berry is this one. Let's just, to be safe, dry everything before I write on them. So that is a little trick that you could use to cut down a little bit of the time when you're using these thicker, woodier herbs like berries. I love that sound. Like the berries, roots, twigs, mushrooms, things like that. You can macerate it, really pulverize it, put the whole thing, just dump this entire thing in a blender, blend it up real good, stick it back in the jar and let it sit for, I don't know, probably, I would still probably give it 6 weeks total, so it cuts down 2 weeks. But I wouldn't go any less time than that. So you see how quick and easy that is. It's super simple. It is super, super simple. It takes no time at all. And we're moving right along. We're on to our third one. This is Valerian. I actually really love the smell of Valerian, but it's a little dusty because it is a dried root, and you don't want to just go in there and take a big whiff because it's going to go up into your sinus cavity and everything. It's already kind of affecting me. But I think I love this so much because I associate it with our sleep tea that I make, and it's just a wonderfully relaxing, calming tea. And valerian is fabulous. It's a fabulous nervine. It helps you relax and helps promote really good restful sleep. And this is definitely, if you're interested in getting more information about valerian, you definitely want to catch the next video. When you see this one pop up, I don't know what order I'm going to post these in just yet, but when you see the valerian video pop up, you definitely want to take a look at this one and get all the information, because there are some people, and I will go over that actually probably valerian would have a opposite effect in. So if you're interested in that herb, definitely watch out for the valerian video, because you want to see if this is a good fit for you. But it is my all-time favorite sleep herb. And the ratio for this, again, I'm using a dried herb for this. This isn't one that we grew this year. I am hoping to have this and a few others that I'm still currently purchasing, growing in a high tunnel, because when it comes to root herbs, they are best harvested after a couple years, and giving them a chance to really mature. Like ashwagandha is another one. Herbs that we really use a lot in our family and that we love, and we want to be able to overwinter them as best we can and give them a chance to go through at least 2 seasons to be able to be big and just bountiful and wonderful. So the valerian was 80% on the 25th. And this is another one. Can you see it turning already? It is a little dusty. This is going to sit for 8 weeks as well because it is a root. Now it is chopped up super fine, so it's not going to take quite as long to penetrate, but I like a good strong valerian root tincture. The ratio for this one, because it's a dried root, is 1 to 5. So it's going to be 1 part valerian root, 1 part herb, and 5 parts vodka. And we'll stick that there. The next one we're gonna do, that's for the oils, is yarrow. Now the yarrow, we grow this prolifically. Oh, it's amazing. My favorite way to use yarrow is for fever reduction. I have a child that will not take any type of fever reducer, painkiller, no matter what. It just won't happen. So yarrow flower is wonderful for fever reduction. Ooh, we're getting low. How many more do we have? Oh, just one. I think we're gonna make it, and I'll be able to make one more. So I use this for him, and this helps knock it down. I really only treat fevers if they're super, super uncomfortable or if they are high. I am not telling you how to treat your kids' fevers at all. That is something between you and your doctor, or your personal thoughts and beliefs on the subject, but that is my family's personal choice. And yarrow is an excellent herb to assist in that. It's also very light and airy, so when I make this, I have a spoon ready to push it down and kind of vodka log it and get it to stay under the line. And it takes a couple weeks for it to fully do that, but I at least want it to be wet enough to kind of stick down so it doesn't stick to the lid. And the ratio for this one is 1 to 5 also. You'll find that a lot of herbs are that ratio when you're using dried herb. Definitely something I want to keep, I'm gonna add a little more, on our shelves for the winter as well, for the inevitable fevers that will pop up. This one can be ready in 6 weeks. Again, writing the date, what it is, and the proof. Okay, and the last tincture, possibly the last, I may be able to make more here. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. This is milk thistle, and you can hear it. You hear the seed, but this is also milk thistle powder. It's both, because I had both. This is not one that we grow. This is one that I currently purchase. I'm a little traumatized by thistle. It's wonderful. It's a super fabulous herb. I take milk thistle regularly. It's part of my protocol for my liver health, because if you've been around for a while, or if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen me inject my Humira. I take Humira for an autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. It is a requirement for me because my disease progressed to affect my heart and my lungs. So that was the tipping point for me where I said biologics are going to be necessary for right now. Hopefully it's not a forever thing, but for right now, it's required for me, and by my own choosing. And something you will always hear me say on all of my platforms, anywhere that you find me, you will hear me say, herbalism is not something you have to take or leave. Neither is allopathy. The two work together. They should work together. After 15 years of working in the medical field and being an herbalist and an herb farmer, I am here to tell you that they work together beautifully. And there is a way to make them work. So like I said, milk thistle, this looks a lot like mud, doesn't it? Milk thistle is one that, this spoon is not long enough. I think we're just gonna go ahead and shake it because it is, you can see it right now, it is bubbling. Let's see if I can turn it around. You can see it. It's bubbling because we've got milk seed powder in here too. So we're gonna get all of that broke up, let it loosen up, there we go. And then we will top it off. Look at that. Looks like mud. But this is fabulous. It's a hepatoprotectant, which means it protects the liver, and it also helps clear blockages in your liver. It helps clear any sludge. It helps stimulate the flow of bile and the production of it, which is what you want. You want things to move freely and easily. Helps in your digestion and your health. And look at that. I got every tincture done that was absolutely necessary for me to get done today, and that's what I have left. So there is that. Let's get this written on. There we have our tinctures. We made chamomile, we made valerian, we made milk thistle, we made yarrow, and we made a little baby hawthorn berry. And those are our 5 tinctures that we're going to do today. Now we're going to move on to the oils. Now the oils are a base for me. I do use them straight on occasion. If it depends on the oil that I am infusing with. If I'm infusing with castor oil, which everything is currently infusing, I don't have anything that I need to make with castor oil right now. That can go on straight. I often use castor oil straight. It is a super awesome oil, and I can do a totally separate video on the benefits of castor oil and how wonderful and magical it is in another video. But today, we're just using plain old olive oil. So what we are doing today is making calendula oil. Now I planted calendula, smells amazing. I planted, I think it was a 250 seed packet, and I got 4 gallons of calendula. This is a gallon jar. This is the Azure standard gallon jars. I love those. I don't love the lids, but I do love the jars. So this is all grown on our farm. I'm gonna fill this up with about half. I'm not worried about gloves or anything, because honestly, this is a body oil. This is going into the soap. This is not to be consumed. So I'm not worried about it. All right, so there is the calendula. I'm out of space. Let's stick that over there on my basket. Okay, super simple. Half full of the dried calendula, and fill it up with oil. While this is filling, I'll tell you, I never use fresh calendula in an infused oil. Reason being is we're back to that water content. You don't want a herb that is fresh going into an oil infusion, because it's going to speed up the process of making something rancid. It is not going to be as shelf stable for very long, and in fact, when I am storing oils, I like to store them in the fridge, because that makes them last, I would say, safely for 6 months without any kind of side effects or anything. As a general rule of thumb, olive oil goes rancid after a year, and that's from a year of processing. So when they say good for 6 months, yes, olive oil is good on the shelf for a year, but when was it bottled? So I say 6 months. And that's just the way I go. And because oil is now $38 for 2 of these things from Costco, we're gonna stick this sucker upside down and just put it over here and let the rest of it drain so I can use every last bit of it. $38 for 2 of these. I remember one was 20 bucks. So we're going to top it off. Now I use calendula oil more than any other infused oil in my soap, in my lotions, in my lip balms, in anything, any beauty product. That's what I use the most, because it has so many amazing healing properties, and it's just so beneficial for the skin. So here we're just going to write calendula olive oil and the date. Now, important to know, so this can sit for 4 weeks, and you've got 4 to 6, depending on what you want, and you could let it infuse that way. That is what I do, because I make such large amounts. What you can do though, if you want the process to go quicker and you could have it in a few hours, is you could get a crock pot and put, I don't know, maybe a quarter of water into that crock pot, keep it low, cook it low and slow, and just warm it up, and it infuses all the goodness into the oil. You strain it, squeeze the herbs out really, really good. Herb presses are wonderful, but they're crazy expensive, so that's not happening here right now. And then you've got your infused oil. So that's kind of like the sped up way to do that. Again, because I make them by the gallon, this is the way I do it, and it works great for me. I just plan my, my process accordingly. This is one that is about ready to be strained. So you see the difference in what it looks like. Now, the oil is still kind of, you know, oil colored. And this one is very much orange, dark gold, if you will. And this one is about ready to be strained. We have, I think I'm gonna give it 1 more week. and it'll be good. But that's what it looks like when it's about ready. So the next one I'm going to do is lavender. Lavender, super, super soothing for the skin. Our fresh lavender. That's very dusty. You don't want to breathe in herb dust. It's not good for you. Yeah, about 1/3. That will work nicely. There's a little more forgiveness when it comes to infusing oils than there is with tinctures. And then really there's forgiveness with tinctures too. It's not an exact science, depending on what type of herbalism you're following. But I like to be consistent with when it comes, like super consistent, and make things exact when it comes to tinctures. With oil, there's a little more flexibility. Like I don't have quite enough to fill half a jar, but I've got 1/3, which is fine. And that will give us plenty of benefits. And the benefits of lavender in this, I love this one. The benefits of lavender are super soothing for the skin, very calming, good for mild to moderate burns, skin conditions. Lavender is very relaxing. It's an aromatic, so it just smells incredible. And some people love it and other people hate it. I feel like lavender is one of those, it's a 50-50 shot. Lavender, this lavender is not our lavender. This is lavender that I purchased to fill an order, a large order. And I didn't have enough ready at the time, so I had to purchase it to fill and to make, it was a soap order, it was a large soap order. So I had to make a bunch of lavender oil and do it that way. Our lavender, when we pick it, and this was one of the first herbs I noticed this about, when we pick and dry and go through that whole process, when we're done, our lavender is still vibrant purple. It is still super bright and just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, smells amazing. And the benefits of it are a lot stronger. The properties are a lot stronger in it. And the reason is because absolutely nothing bad. I'm not saying anything bad about any of the outstanding herb companies that are out there, but they sit, when you have a large company, they sit longer on the shelf. Some of the herbs can. And they do have policies and procedures to make sure things come in and go out accordingly and within proper time frames, but you can tell the difference between a big, kind of like a big box herb store and a small farm. So the herb quality and the medicinal properties that you get from a small herb farm far outweigh the ones from the big companies. Nettle oil is another one. This is another one that is 1/3, and that is totally fine. We'll go with it. Nettle. This is my favorite soap. This ends up being a rosemary nettle. And I've got rosemary oil going right now. I also use rosemary essential oil, therapeutic grade oil. And my hope is that one day I can use my still. I have a still to make hydrosol and essential oil. And my hope is that I will grow enough herb to be able to make my own essential oils for my soaps. But that is a ways away, I think. Probably a couple more years until I can do it to the degree that I would like to, so that I'm not purchasing essential oils for soap anymore. That would be incredible. But why I use nettle infused oil is because those anti-inflammatory properties are so important for the skin, especially someone like me. Part of my AS is it likes to screw with my skin. Wonderful. And I have autoimmune rosacea, basically. And it puts like this patch, this red patch, similar to a lupus rash, just like right across that butterfly looking rash across my face. And this really helps it keep in check. So I use this and I can rub this oil. Why does this not want to go on? It's good. It's brand new. There we go. Operator error. So I will rub this oil, this infused oil, right on my skin that is super, super helpful. And I will put it in the soap. So that's why our soaps are so awesome. Because we infuse the properties of the herbs directly into the oil. So you get the benefits that way too. Last one I'm going to do today is rose. And this is also an herb that we grew. These mini roses. Oh, they smell so good. These mini roses. I actually got these at a local store. And I said, you know, I don't want massive, huge rose bushes in the space that I had planned for them. Should I put these rose bushes? And they're still 3.5 feet high. And they are so prolific. They put off way more roses than your standard rose bush would. So I went with the mini roses. I am definitely going to plant more in the spring next year. I want to line a whole 50-foot row of them around our fenced section of our herb garden. And rose, also very good for the skin. It's got all those wonderful anti-aging properties, helps smooth and even skin tone. So rose we'll infuse into that. And one of our most popular blends is calendula and rose together. That makes for a phenomenal soap bar. Okay, well, I had 2 more jars that I wanted to make elderberry tincture with, and I wanted to make, what was the other one that I wanted to make? A plantain tincture. I'm running low on those, so I'm gonna have to go to the store and get some more vodka and make those. But this is not bad for one day's work. So here we have everything. We've got our tinctures, we've got our oils. They're already starting to infuse and pull all those wonderful properties. You can see how they are changing colors, and oh, I love this part. I could just sit and watch them. I'm a total herb nerd. So don't forget to watch the videos that are coming out on each one of these individual herbs. I'm gonna do videos on every one of them and give you all the details on these herbs, all of their properties, how to use them, how to store them when you're done with them, all of that good information. So stay tuned for that. Also, I do have a ebook that I just put out. It is 50 herbal remedies to help you stock your home apothecary. So I will leave a link in the description box below if you want to snag a copy of that. It goes over how to do this stuff, how to use this stuff, all the good stuff, how to blend them and use, say if you wanted something like, I don't know, a nettle milk thistle tincture, for example. I don't think that specific blend is in there, but it does talk about lots of different recipes. We go over herbal teas, tinctures, salves, herbal oils, infused oils, and oxymels. So if you want to snag that, you can get all the good information on what to do with these and how to use them for your home and for your family. So that link will be down in the description box. Don't forget, if you did like this video, to give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube that you like this video and you want to see more of us. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of this. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.